it would make more sense if you did a much more rigorous assessment on it. Even though if time allows, we might go into it and find out how you have taken action in line with our recommendations.
Thank you, Chair. Noted.
So those are the 7 which we have either ticked off or we have kept in view.
Yes, Chair.
So we are remaining with 38.
No, we had 45. 7
have...
addressed from our view and 1 partially.
Well, if it's partial, it's not addressed. So we are still remaining with 38 issues.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
But before you leave internal controls, there's a recommendation that we made, which if the governor has not implemented it, then we'll think that she's not taking the recommendations of the Senate seriously. The establishment of an audit committee. How, Governor, from your response, there is no evidence that you have established an audit committee. How would Nakuru, such a big county with a city, not have an audit committee? What is the difficulty in establishing an audit committee? Because without an audit committee, then internal control, internal audit is completely useless. An auditor or treasury, you will need to explain to us the importance of an audit committee in that context, because they don't have it, unless there's evidence that that has been established. Governor?
Thank you, Chair. We actually advertised for it last year, but when many of those who applied were not qualified, so we didn't have enough to constitute the committee. But we are back on the drawing board again, right? Oh, we already re-advertised again, actually. Yeah.
Is that part of your submissions on file? Because it was a substantive issue, so that we can see how you responded. Because it's not a casual thing, Governor. It's if you advertised last year and to date there's no audit committee, that is a serious violation of the PFM Act and regulations. Reverend, what is the importance of an audit committee so that we are not dealing with irrelevant things?
Honorable Chair and members, basically the importance of the audit committee is to offer assurance to the management that the internal processes they are serving the purposes for which they were intended.
Can you have an effective internal audit function without an audit committee?
No. It's supposed to actually appraise the internal processes, those audit committees, and their reports should give assurance to the management that all is well. Now, in the absence of the audit committees, you know that assurance is lacking.
OIG?
Thank you, Chair. The audit committee is very, very key to the internal controls implementation, where they will both implement external audit reports, recommendations, the Senate recommendation, and even the internal audit functions. So it's a very key committee that will oversee, because it's independent from the management, and they will ensure that all these are implemented. Thank you, Chair.
Now, legal, just look up that section 54 of the Public Audit Act. So that, because we are now in implementation, we are not on audit. We said you need to establish an audit committee. You have not established an audit committee. There's somebody in the organization who has that responsibility. According to the Act, is it the CEC, Finance?
Maybe we can refer to the Act, the actual Act, Chair.
Governor, in your view, who takes responsibility for establishment of an audit committee? Obviously, you are the CEO, but functionally, who takes that responsibility?
I believe it would be the CEC for Finance.
Duty.
Yes, Chair. And as Her Excellency has explained, we last year we advertised the applications came in, but what came from the board is that majority of them did not have the requisite qualification and experience. And last in June, July on 19th, we advertised. It went on the paper, and I'm yet to confirm with the board where they are at as of now.
You have the advert here?
Yeah. Yes, it should be.
The one that you're citing?
Yes. Page 558.
Of
This
which
is the
volume?
second one. Volume 2.
So Nakuru, such a big county, cannot attract people to sit in the audit committee, and yet we have seen. Did Isiolo? I think even Isiolo demonstrated that they have been able to constitute an audit committee. Not saying that Isiolo is small. Yeah. So if Isiolo can attract qualified people to the audit committee, I have a lot of problems believing what the CC is saying, unless we get a report from the County Public Service Board.
Which volume?
Volume 2, page 558.
I was waiting for the comeback of Senator Dulo.
You know, you'd
And
rather
you know-
paper compliance than no compliance at all.
Yeah, and you know the alternative capital city of Nairobi is Nakuru.
And the future capital is Isiolo, as per Vision 2030.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When things are right in Isiolo.
So, members, have you seen the adverts
Yes, Chair. It's dated 18th July
of this year?
of this year. 18th of July. When
Sorry.
did you receive our report?
Sorry, Chair, it's on volume 2, page 558.
Yes, you've seen the advert sent on 18th July. When did you receive the report of our recommendations? Because I think, Chair, it was tabled on 27th of March.
Yes, you may respond.
Yes, we received the recommendation in June of this year.
Okay, since we are now.
So, Chair,
you're complete.
Actually, 18th of July was supposed to be the date, the final date for receipt of the applications. So from July 18th, have you made any step? Have you interviewed? Because the whole of August, no action. You know, from 18th to 30th of July, 31st, nothing. August, nothing. Are you really serious? You want to form this audit committee? Governor, are you comfortable operating without an audit committee?
Through the chair, we do have a little situation there when it comes to the board, because their term ended on the 31st of July,
Which board?
my county public service board. So as much as it was closing on the 18th, the board has had no quorum. But the process of recruitment for the new one has been done, and I believe the names are now in the county assembly. So once we have a reconstituted, or once we have quorum in the board, then I'm sure whatever was on their desks and pending will be completed. So the delay may have been caught up due to the lapse in the time for the board.
Senator Lelegwe.
Chair, I don't think the governor is honest on this issue and the CC, because when you see that advert, it's titled the county government of Nakuru, and all those applications were supposed to be received by the county secretary and head of public service, not the county public service board. Just check on that advert. The details are there.
Chair, Chair, I don't know how to respond to that. So when the senator says we are not being honest, I would wish to point out to the senator that the county secretary does not interview job applicants. It's actually handled by the County Public Service Board at the county level.
Well, I think he's making a statement of fact.
I'm just, I'm saying, I'm giving feedback on their submission that they don't have a board or the board have advertised. When you see this, it's not advertised by the board, and the person to receive these applications, as indicated in the advert, is the county secretary, head of public service, county government of Nakuru. So I don't know from this advert where the service board comes from.
Now, Governor, if we say too much, we are going to end up contradicting each other. I agree with the Senator's assessment on the basis of what we are seeing here, because applications were to be sent to the county secretary and head of public service. If it was to go to CPSB, perhaps it would have been addressed as such. But the key thing is this. You don't have an audit committee. Do you have an approved internal audit charter? What's the name of that charter that needs to be approved?
That's called the internal audit.
Charter?
Yes.
Do you have an approved internal audit charter? Who is the foremost professional? Because CEC Finance does not have to be an accountant. Or are you a member of the institute? Chief Officer, Finance. What's the professional membership for Chief Officer Finance? Is Chief Officer Finance present?
Yeah.
But if Chief Officer Finance is not present, what is the professional background of Chief Officer Finance? See, you have a Chief Officer Finance. See, why are you smiling instead of answering a question that is as black and white?
I have a CPA, my CEO, economic planning.
No.
Yes.
This thing of audit committee is so important. ISPAC has made it clear that where a county does not have an audit committee, I think they've even done some opinion on the matter, that Senate has the power to report to ISPAC for necessary professional sanctions to be taken on members of their profession who have that responsibility and fail to advise the governor or fail to implement it. And that's what I'm driving at. So if it's not the CEC, then there will be a CEO. And if there is no CEO, and again, the law does not require CEO to be a member of ISPAC, but head of accounting services or head of treasury must be a member of the institute, isn't it? So who's the head of treasury or head of accounting services in this delegation?
Director Dam.
The guy I thought did not require further training. Mr. Dundo, why are you operating? Because that means you are the foremost accountant in the entity. A member of ISPAC, I believe so?
Not yet, sir.
How are you head of accounting services and you're not a member of ISPAC? Supervising CPAs? Governor, how does that, because those are positions of merit. They are not like the CEC and CEO positions.
We actually had one director. And Chair, I think there's something that I need to go back a bit. I know you said let's not talk too much about that, but it's important for the record. On that advert, when it says to the county secretary and head of public service, it's just an office that where there is a, what is it called?
No, Governor, let me guide you. It's
all applications
it's not an issue. So,
okay.
Senator Lelegwe has stated it.
Okay.
Don't go back to it.
Okay.
We want to find a solution.
Yes.
And I want to make a recommendation to ISPAC to hold one of your professionals accountable.
That's fine.
And that's what I'm trying to identify.
Okay, I just took offense, not offense, but I just was taken aback when it was put on the record that
no, leave that
so
alone.
I was just correcting that. As far as the one who was, what was his name? Director Finance was Mongai, who just recently retired. He is the one who had that designation. We are currently recruiting for that position, for the director.
So to put it in context, Nakuru County does not have a county public service board, does not have an audit committee, does not have a chief officer finance, does not have a qualified head accounting services. 4 very critical institutions in the county. How do you expect to achieve your goals, Governor, in the absence of those very critical structures?
Chair, I think it's just it's unfortunate that a lot of it lapsed at the same time, especially, for example, the County Public Service Board, the term ending, and that of the director retiring. So the succession planning there may have been, I mean, there was not much we could do about the County Public Service Board, for example. We still had to go through the processes in recruitment. We did put together the committee that was to recruit. They came on board. They did the recruitment. We couldn't rush them. I think it's taken the last couple of months to do that. But the names are now at the county assembly. So here shortly within, and then our county assembly happens to be on recess, because I believe they may have your calendar. But they're coming back, I believe, for a special sitting just to pass the county public, to have a sitting on the County Public Service Board. So that will be soon taken care of. As you can see, there was an advertisement for the audit committee, and the people tasked with recruitment in county government is the County Public Service Board. So as soon as they are there, they are in place, this will be one of the first things they do.
Governor, I wouldn't even want you to explain.
Okay.
We just want to paint the picture for you.
Sure.
So that you see the kind of problem that you have.
Sure.
I hope you have an internal auditor.
We do, don't you?
But without a charter.
Of course, the internal auditor is here with us. We do have a charter, but he has told me that it was not approved. But
because it's approved by the audit committee.
Exactly.
The picture we are painting for you is, if you don't have an audit committee, a public service board, a chief officer finance, a qualified head of accounting services, an approved internal audit charter, then your financial management is going to be in shambles. And it is something that you must go back and deal with urgency. I don't want to hard press you to explain to us what you're doing, but go back and reflect on that. That is a recipe for failure if you don't have those institutions.
Sure.
So do we keep this in view, hoping that by the time you are doing the audit, there'll be some demonstrable measures?
Yes, Chair. We'll keep it in view.
Okay. PBO. Is PBO here? I think in our ranking of counties, establishment of audit committees, having approved internal audit charters, having qualified persons running the financial management of the counties can also be added as parameters on the ranking that we are planning to do for counties. Can we then go back now to the issues unresolved? We have dealt with 7.5 issues, actually 8.5. Now let's go back to the issues that remain unresolved. Even though I'd asked legal to read, was it section 54 of the Public Audit Act? That section that gives Parliament the power to make recommendations where an accounting officer fails to do what Parliament has directed. Malcolm?
Through the chair. Section 53, subsection 1. The relevant accounting officer of a state organ or public entity shall, within 3 months after Parliament has considered and made recommendations on the audit report, A, take the relevant steps to implement the recommendations of Parliament on the report of the Auditor General, or B, give explanations in writing to the Parliament on why the report has not been acted upon. Subsection 2, failure to comply with the provisions of subsection 1, the accounting officer shall be in contempt of Parliament or County Assembly, and upon determination by Parliament or relevant County Assembly, Parliament or the relevant County Assembly may recommend administrative sanctions such as removal as the accounting officer, reduction in rank, among others.
So, honorable members, that's what we'll apply our minds to, whether we should make that recommendation. And that's why I keep asking for the officer responsible, because we cannot talk of reduction in rank of the governor. The governor is elected by the people, but there are officers who are, public officers to whom that section would apply. Oeji, take us back to the beginning of the issues that remain unresolved.
Thank you, Chair. The first issue is not addressed. It's under financials, undisclosed decrease in retention money. The statement of cash flow reflected a nil balance in respect of increase and decrease in deposits and retentions. However, note 18 to the financial statement reflects a decrease in deposit and retention amount of 104 million, resulting to a variance of 104.9 million, not disclosed in the financial statement.
What was the recommendation of the Senate?
The committee recommended that the management takes administrative action against officers who fail to comply with Regulation 63(4) of the Public Finance Management Count Regulations 2015 in the management of retentions account and submit a status report to the auditors within 60 days of adoption of this report.
So there were two issues, administrative action and compliance with the PFM regulations that governs management of retentions account. Governor, is there evidence that any of the two recommendations have been implemented? The auditor says there's none. Or could you read I think it would be proper for you to read what you had prepared as your written response. Let's go to your written response, Governor.
Okay, sorry. On Chair, in our view, there was a problem of the reporting template regarding the accounting treatment of the retention money, and we have written to the auditor seeking their clarification on the same, a copy of which is hereby attached as Appendix 1.1.
Auditor?
Okay, Chair, when you look at the Appendix 1, the attachment is they were seeking for clarification, which we invited them, and I think in the evening yesterday, we reconciled with the team that came that they did not need any guidance because this thing is in the template. Template is a guide to financial reporting. It is very clear, and I showed them, and I think with the implementation of the accrual, I think the issue will be addressed, but as at now, the issue was not addressed, and the officer who did...
Now, OAG, let's move away from the professional jargon. 104 million for retentions. I remember last week we are again dealing with an impeachment where the retention and deposits account was at the center. Was this money, is it traceable? Are you able to see the 104 million coming from certain payments or contractors and its payment also flowing procedurally?
Thank you, Chair. That is what we are querying in our issue. It should be indicated clearly in the cash flow as being reported that it is in the cash flow. The cash flow will tell you how much you have. By the end of the accounting, you will have reported cash and cash equivalent, including the retention. So in the absence of it not being disclosed in the financial statement, the management should explain.
So what's the effect? Is it that 104 million was paid as retentions or 104 million was reserved as retention?
It had not been paid.
It had not been paid.
It should be held by the county until the projects are completed and they are satisfied that the work was properly done. So they should have it as a retention, as a liability, but they are having the money. So if it was not disclosed in the cash flow, it means the cash and cash equivalent was understated.
Again, simple English. Was there evidence that they had, in their retentions and deposits account, they had reserved 104 million?
That evidence is not there because it is not
Good.
in the
Number
financial
two,
statement.
is there evidence that they paid out 104 million
There's
to contractors?
There's no evidence.
So it's effectively, we are saying there's a violation because definitely there are contractors who have been paid, and retention definitely for every county government must apply.
Chair.
Governor, you get the drift. So even you writing a letter to the Auditor General does not address the matter. The question is, if you retain 104 million, where is it?
Chair, maybe in addition, are there contractors who are waiting to be paid from the retention?
Yeah. And how would they be paid if it has not been provisioned?
Okay, Chair, I'll have the CC answer that.
The challenge we had was the template that was originally presented did not have a column for the retention balances. And that's why we were requesting the OAG to guide us on how to respond to this query. But the money is in the account.
I think we've asked the OAG to confirm that, and they cannot say. I don't know whether you are able to confirm that the 104 million has been provisioned.
Chair,
or withheld.
First to clarify, the template is done by the National Treasury under the Public Sector Board. And the template is there very clear, giving a provision after the total operations, you do an adjustment. It's very clear if we open the template.
OAG, help us. We just want to know, was 104 retained? Is it in an account? Is it available for contractors when the defect period lapses? Let's start from there before we talk about the professional element.
It cannot be there if it is not reported in the financial statement.
So then, Governor, tell us where you are taking retention money. That is the thing. The reporting templates is neither here nor there.
Chair, the OAG, they are always presented with the bank balances and the statement. So when the issue becomes it's not there, and we can confirm with bank balances and bank statement that the 104 is in the bank as of the time of the audit.
Yeah, there's a statement in the management response, the last statement there. A schedule of the movement of cash has since been provided to the auditors for verification. Governor, what was that supposed to achieve, that statement? Where was that cash moving? And where is the annexure? A schedule of the movement of cash. And maybe for the auditor, have you seen that schedule for the movement of cash?
Honorable Member, no.
Governor?
Oh, Governor, sorry, Chair. Sorry. On that one, the cash movement schedule, we were actually responding to the original question, right? That's what it was. That was in reference to the actual original question.
So where is that schedule? Because we want to know or to see, if the auditor does not see it, maybe we want to see it now. Where was that cash moving from where to where? The money meant for retentions.
It's actually attached to the management. Come answer. Hold on, just a minute.
Let's not get lost in accounting jargon. When you pay a contractor, retention, isn't it withheld automatically as per if miss payment? Isn't it? So I would struggle in an event where the Auditor General tells me that they have no visibility on the retained amounts. It can only point to theft and looting of that account. So that's what we need to be clear about. The issues on reporting are secondary. National Treasury.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe the CEC in charge of finance probably could point to this committee to help this committee actually solve this matter from their financials, because there is that section where it is showing the accounts that they have and the balances that are in those accounts. can they point out that this retention money is in this account and it is in the financials? I think that one would help this committee to make a determination.
Yeah, because we just want to confirm the money is there. But the OAG does not seem to have that assurance.
Chair, we are very confident that the money is in the bank. The money is there.
Point us to it. Just point us to it. Remember, we said we are not doing the audit today. So ideally, we should have gone with the position of the OAG and perhaps asked EACC now to do the investigation. So just before we make that recommendation, try to convince us why this matter should not be a matter for investigation.
1 minute, Chair.
This is 104 million, money that does not belong to you. It belongs to contractors and service providers.
I'll have you talk. Chair, it's being pointed out here to me, but if it's okay, come here. Just talk. Explain it.
You will need to introduce yourself for answered purposes.
Thank you, Chair. Through Excellency the Governor, my name is CPA James Katiwa. The difference that we are talking of, 104 million, is actually the difference between the open balance and the closing balance in that account. When you talk of the cash flow, it's actually the movement. During the year, there were funds which were withheld, and we also released funds to the contractors. The reason why we wrote to the OAG is to seek clarification, because the retention money, or rather the retention account, the money that we put there basically belongs to the contractors legally, but from an economic reality, the money is in our control. The difference that is given there of 104 million is actually reflected as a cash and cash equivalent in the cash flow statement. When you talk of adjusting for that particular figure, the difficulty that we had, or the challenge, was that this particular figure or the movement has already been captured under acquisition of assets. Because once we...
CPA, you are bombarding us with jargon, which you can discuss with your professional colleagues. Can you confirm to us that 104 million as retained can be traced?
In an account.
In an account?
Yes, Chair, we can do that.
Where is that?
We have it in the certificate. Is the difference between 251 million and 146 million.
Auditor General, you have interacted, you asked this question at the time of exit management letter. Who is telling the truth? How do we know? Because last week we were bombarded with impeachment proceedings and allegations against a governor for raiding the retentions account. And we don't want the MCAs of Nakuru to do the same to Governor Kihika. So we have an opportunity to deal with it. Is that money traceable?
Chair, if it was not reported in the financial statement, it is not supported with any document like bank statement or a control ledger. It is the
and the gentleman was answering the question, what do you mean economically? It is money under your control. Might you have borrowed that money?
Yeah, because they raid it whenever there are delays in exchequer releases.
Yes.
That's a practice in
yeah, might you have
raised it? And through so Excellency, what I mean by that is the account, the deposit account is the name of Nakuru County. But whose money is this? The money we are holding is for the suppliers. Once we deduct the money, we issue them with receipts. So the money is theirs, but it belongs to, it is in our control, but it belongs to the contractors. So that's why under cash accounting, That figure is captured in the Statement of Financial Performance and Acquisition of Assets. This particular problem has been
Just stop it there. Treasury?
Thank you, Chair. Probably to help this committee make a determination, I would appreciate if the officer would tell us the deposit account as XYZ amount, and we have a reconciliation of that XYZ amount is money belonging to A, B, C, D. That one will settle the matter.
That's what we've been trying to ask. Then we are getting a lecture on accounting. Governor, after all that lecture, are you able to respond to that question?
Yes, Chair. Like I said, I feel confident the money is there, but maybe you can.
No, just as a treasurer said, just show us this is the account, this is the money, this is how it flowed in. The accounting treatment is secondary.
Sure.
For us is the traceability and accountability for the funds.
Sure.
And I believe that you'd also be asking the same of your officers.
Sure. So
do you feel like you have a sufficient explanation from the officers? And if you do, then because you speak our language, you're a fellow politician, a former senator, can you digest that and just give us a response that we can understand? By showing us here is the money, page 19, here are the payments, page 27, and here is the balance, page 29.
From what was submitted, this was submitted to the Office of the Auditor General. We have the account number. This is our retention account at the Central Bank of Kenya. Account 100.
On which page is that?
Sorry, page 44. Oh, sorry. This is the one for the Auditor General.
Yes.
Yes, the certificates. Yes. So do the senators have that? Do you mind if
we must make progress on this. We have two options, because it looks like it does not matter how long we take on this, because your professionals are disputing the accounting treatment, but we, the politicians, are also not getting visibility on whether the 104 either exists or it was paid. We have sufficient experience of counties raiding and misusing the deposit and retentions account. We are asking the Auditor General, please do a thorough audit of deposits and retentions account in Nakuru County, and on the basis of your report, we will take a view on whether to escalate the issues to the EACC. So you can deal with it in the substantive audit. Okay. I don't know whether that's fair enough.
It's fine, Chair.
Okay.
Sure.
So then that matter remains unresolved. We'll be getting a proper update from the OAG, and if we find that the monkey games that are in other counties are also in Nakuru, then it will be a matter for EACC to deal with. The next matter.
Thank you, Chair, for your guidance. The next one was inaccuracy in the compensation of employees, where we were querying the variances based on basic salaries of permanent employees, basic wages of temporary employees, personal allowances paid part of the salary, pensions, and other personnel. When you look at the document that was provided to us in page 6, they have provided payroll for a whole month, and they have failed to demonstrate the variances that we were querying. So the issue is not addressed.
For avoidance of doubt, if you sum the amount as per ledger and sum the amount as per financial statements, is there a difference?
Sorry, Chair, we were not able to reconcile because we were very specific on the items, because the payroll have specific items in the votes.
No. Just on the face of it, the total amount as per financial statements You see, it's broken down into several 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 components. If you sum up the total amount as per financial statements, you get an amount which is 6.4 billion. Yes. If you sum up the amount as per ledger, what do you get? Do you get 6.4 billion?
The ledger is giving us
because if the total in the ledger is equal to the total in the financial statements, then now we just deal with the subcomponents. But if the two totals are different, then we have a serious problem.
the two totals. Give us just a moment. We reconcile the
from the county, is the total amount as per ledger equal to total amount as per financial statements?
Yes, Chair.
Can we confirm that, OAG?
Yes, we are confirming because our query was different from what you have posted.
It's the same. It confirms.
Because we first want to establish whether they reported fully the employee cost before we go to the subcomponents.
Chair, they are different.
So,
The
Governor,
financial statement is 6 and this one is 5.
Who's giving you advice? Mathematics, there cannot be two views. The total as per ledger is 5 billion.
5.8.
5.8 billion. Total as per financial statements is 6.4 billion.
Yes.
So from there, what was the accurate employee cost?
Chair, very briefly. Very briefly, Chair, let me point out to two other things here that we pointed out in our management response that add up to the 6.4. So we agree with the audit finding that the statement of receipts and payments reflects compensation of employees amount of 6,447,452,070 as disclosed in note 3 of the financial statements. The supporting ledgers as analyzed by the auditor is hereby attached, and it shows compensation of employees, and it's at the bank.
Yes, as read.
And actual.
The difference is 339.
The 1.15 are the 5 stale checks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So the difference between cash book and bank balance is 339 million.
Okay. Yeah.
And I know you don't want us to get into all that nitty-gritty, but I think part of it, as we were saying, is there is more money in the bank because there is some things that we have paid for that have not been cashed. I think in very layman term. But I also said that that will change going forward. It's based on the cutoff dates, okay. So, but that will change, Chair, going forward because we are going to go to a different accounting system. Is that's right?
Auditor General, is this attributable to cutoff period?
Chair, no, because the financial statement is reported as at 30th June 2024. The bank statement we are reporting of the 3.9 billion is as at 30th June. The cash book is also as at 30th June. So there's no issue of cutoff in this presentation.
So Governor, you must tell us that you have 3.9 billion in the bank, but you're only reporting 3.6 billion. But that is the layman's...
Chair,
yes.
First of all, it is a cutoff because I know sometimes the financial year, yes, closes end of June, but they extend for us a bit, like into July, and I'll have them explain. Because I know as council, sometimes we sit and negotiate with Treasury, and we say, hey, you guys are giving us money, like maybe May and June, it's dumped into our systems a week to the end of the financial year. So we kind of have some negotiations and they extend for us another 3 weeks. So yes, the cutoff was June 30th, but there's still more going on in the back end. But I don't want to misquote
Can they
it.
explain it
Yes.
using an extract from the bank statements? Because that's Msemakweli.
Sure.
I've had your broad explanation, but for them now is to prove it. But OAG, before then?
Chair, in a layman point, if I receive money in my bank and I'm an accountant, why don't I record it in the cash book so that the cash book can reflect what is in the bank if I've not used it? Because what we are having here, the bank was having 3.9 billion, but their cash book did not have this money. So it means it was not accounted for in the cash book, which is now giving us a balance to the financial statement. So that's where our argument is. They ought, once they receive the money in the account on 30th June, they ought to have posted it in the cash book to reflect if they had not paid anything that remained unpresented.
Treasury, before the county comes in?
Thank you, Chair. There is one document that can be able to settle this issue once and for all. And that one is called a bank reconciliation statement. It should be able to explain all that. What was the opening balance in the cash book and in the bank and how they reconcile. So if that one can be provided, honorable members of this committee, I think this committee will be able to make a determination very easily.
Yes, CEC?
For CEC, there is a statement made by the auditor saying that the difference alludes to the loss of money. Yeah? And I think from the discussion that we are having, and the governor mentioned it, there could be some payment that has not been reflected in the cash book. So is she able to establish that? Because she cannot tell us, I think like, you know, there is loss of money. She needs to establish. Now the difference is this money left here, it has not been reflected here. But if you say that there is a pointer to the loss of money, it doesn't make sense because it's a blanket, you know, kind of statement. Maybe she needs to clarify on that.
Remember, this could be the third time the auditor is saying this, because the auditor said it during the time of audit, in the interim certificate, the auditor said it in the certificate that was tabled, we said it again in our recommendations. So the burden of proof is on the county. CC, Governor says that there is something that you can explain to justify the cutoff.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Governor, I would like to point to the last financial year where the National Treasury final equitable share disbursement came after
that one. The Governor has explained, and we understand that practice. Your job now is to show us that in this bank account, this is a part that came on 15th of June, totaling to 300 million, and then we close the matter.
Yes, Chair, but the other challenge is with the auditor.
No, leave the auditor alone. The Governor has given you the opportunity to explain to us how this is a cut-off issue. Please use this opportunity to explain it so that tomorrow my colleague senator or anybody else does not say that Governor Kihika stole 300 million. Left unchallenged, that would be the impression. So please give us the assurance that what we are explaining is supported by evidence.
Yes, it is supported by evidence, and the biggest challenge is that the auditors take the cutoff date as 30th of June, whereas the National Treasury and Controller of Budget and the CBK allow us to transact, and especially for this the financial year in question.
We are with you on that page.
Yes.
You are saying what the Governor said, and we agree that is a practice.
Yes.
So just demonstrate that the 332 million, because I know the window is usually opened up to 15th of July. From that, the closure is 30th June, but you have some 15 days. Just demonstrate that, and then we move on. I think that your job was to demonstrate. Governor has already made that point.
I can, if allowed, I can be able to provide the same document that were provided to the auditor, showing, and the matter in question is, we have more money, not less.
No. You have reported less. You have reported less. It means you are under declaring. If I send you to collect my debt of 1 million shillings, but then you only report 600, umenibia njiani, si ndio? Mmeibia watu wa Nakuru njiani by having more money in the account but declaring less. Yes, sir. So it is not a smaller problem.
Allow us to provide
Auditor General, because we are not doing the audit now.
We are not doing the audit, but we're just trying to get a clear explanation. Allow me just go to the statement, their own financial statement, page 2, statement of assets and liability, where they are reporting their bank balance at note 13 as 3.9 billion. And the cash basis, you are supposed to report the cash book balance. This is what they are reporting. So from our understanding, the 3.9 is the cash book balance. But the actual that we saw when we were verifying the document, the actual cash book was 3.6. So we are querying the difference. So the issue of cutoff is not here because the 3.9 is in their document.
OAG, there is something they are alleging there, that they provided those documents to explain that variance at point of audit. Did that happen? You know, Chair, sometimes I sit here and I'm so frustrated because, as you know, we are also audited.